Dave wasn't barking anymore. He was howling. Poor thing. And I just don't know who would do something like that. He must have been a maniac. Will you catch him, Detective Anderson? Detective Anderson. Oh, yes, we'll catch him. 3. The Estelle Barga parking lot was almost as big as the one at Kroger's where Ralph Anderson and his wife shopped on Saturday afternoons, and on this July evening it was totally filled. Many of the bumpers bore Golden Dragon stickers, and a few rear windows had been soaped with exuberant slogans. "We will rock you," "Dragons will burn bears," "Cap City, here we come," "This year it's our turn." From the field, where the lights had been turned on, although it would be daylight for quite a while yet, there arose cheering and rhythmic clapping. Troy Ramage, a 20-year veteran, was behind the wheel of the unmarked. As he cruised up one packed row and down another, he said, "Whenever I come here, I always wonder who the hell Estelle Barga was, anyway." Ralph made no reply. His muscles were tight, his skin was hot, and his pulse felt like it was redlining. He had arrested plenty of bad doers over the years, but this was different. This was particularly awful. And personal. That was the worst. It was personal. He had no business being part of the arrest and knew it, but following the last round of budget cuts, there were only 3 full-time detectives on the Flint City Police Force's roster. Jack Hoskins was on vacation, fishing somewhere in the back of Beyond, and good riddance. Betsy Riggins, who should have been on maternity leave, would be assisting the state police with another aspect of this evening's work. He hoped to God they weren't going too fast. He had expressed that worry to Bill Samuels, the Flint County District Attorney, just that afternoon in their pre-arrest conference. Samuels was a little young for the post, just 35, but he belonged to the right political party and he was sure of himself. Not cocksure, there was that, but undoubtedly gung-ho. "There are still some rough edges I'd like to smooth out," Ralph said. "We don't have all the background. Plus he's going to say he has an alibi. Unless he just gives it up, we can be sure of that." "If he does," Samuels had replied, "we'll knock it down. You know we will." Ralph had no doubt of it. He knew they had the right man, but he still would have preferred a little more investigation before pulling the trigger. Find the holes in the son-of-a-bitch's alibi, punch them wide enough to drive a truck through, then bring him in. In most cases, that would have been the correct procedure. Not in this one. 3 things, Samuels had said. Are you ready for them? Ralph nodded. He had to work with this man, after all. 1. People in this town, particularly the parents of small children, are terrified and angry. They want a quick arrest so they can feel safe again. 2. The evidence is beyond doubt. I've never seen a case so ironclad. Are you with me on that? Yes. Okay, here's number 3, the big one. Samuels had leaned forward. We can't say he's done it before, although if he has, we'll probably find out once we really start digging. But he sure as hell has done it now. Broken loose, busted his cherry. And once that happens, he could do it again. Ralph finished. Right. Not the likeliest scenario so soon after Peterson, but possible. He's with kids all the time, for Christ's sake. Young boys. If he killed one of them, never mind losing our jobs, we'd never forgive ourselves. Ralph was already having problems forgiving himself for not seeing it sooner. That was irrational. You couldn't look into a man's eyes at a backyard barbecue following the conclusion of the Little League season and know he was contemplating an unspeakable act, stroking it and feeding it and watching it grow. But the irrationality didn't change the way he felt. Now, leaning forward to point between the 2 cops in the front seat, Ralph said, Over there, try the handicap spaces. From the shotgun seat, Officer Tom Yates said, $200 fine for that, boss. I think we'll get a pass this time, Ralph said. I was joking. Ralph, in no mood for cop repartee, made no reply. Crip spaces ahoy, Ramage said, and I see 2 empties.